Welcome to The Journey with Dark Odyssey. We're Dark Odyssey. I'm Joe Rice. Wait, no, I'm not. Take it away.
Nicely done.
Nicely done.
I'm Joe Rice, and you're not. Welcome to the show.
Oh, someone got the title right, didn't they?
The Journey.
With Dark Odyssey.
Well done.
It's always. And welcome to the show, The Journey. I'm Joe Rice, and nobody else is. And I'm with my usual cohorts, plus Brian. Brian's
Hello.
come out from behind the camera to join us here.
I'm Brian Fox. Welcome to the show.
And today we are planning on talking about dreams. Dreams and the various types of dreams and just dreams in general. Everybody dreams.
Yeah.
Everybody dreams.
And just remember that if you are Dr. Sigmund Freud, everything is about sex.
Yes.
Everything!
Sex and your mother.
Yeah.
Not your mother. You know what I'm saying.
All the mothers.
You know what I'm saying.
That's even worse.
Let's talk about you and me.
More wine, please.
Oh, hi. Were we doing something? I'm sorry.
Dreams.
Where do we start?
Dreams.
We're in one right now.
Well, let's talk about
Possibly.
dreams and just dreams in general. Let's discuss. Everybody dreams, so
Where they come from?
Wait, I got a question already.
What are they?
How does dreams relate to paranormal? Everyone's going to say that. What does this have to do with paranormal? Is it a
you ever have a
paranormal
dream of
question?
a family member that passed away? You ever have a dream that happened after you dreamt it?
Yes.
Prophetic dreams, absolutely.
There's all types of dreams that have to do with the paranormal, or we'll lay it out there as it can be associated with the paranormal. I mean, dreams are something that come out of your head, specific to you only.
Most ancient civilizations believe their dreams were prophetic.
Even this civilization.
Yeah, so it's a wide topic, but you know, everybody does dream. Tell me about your dreams.
My
Tell
dreams?
me about your dreams.
Which one? No, but it's funny that you did mention, though, did you dream of someone that passed away? Because that was the first thing that came to mind. Is shortly after my dad passed away, I had a really vivid dream. And I saw him much younger than I probably would ever have remembered him in my lifetime.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and we were at a place we went to a lot, Brighton Beach Bass and Racket Club. We were a member every summer there. And I happened to see him on a pool deck, which was, you know, everyone that we went there knows we had pools there. I saw him in a specific place. I was swimming and he was not, and he was standing there looking at me. We had some kind of conversation. I don't remember what it was at this time, but it was as vivid as can be. And I woke up and I felt like he had come to me in that dream to be like, I'm still around.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, like
absolutely.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm watching over you like I was watching you swimming in the dream.
Nice.
You know, and I wrote a whole bunch of that down. I probably have it in my pocket. I should have looked at it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
That's awesome.
When
Yeah.
my grandmother passed, she passed suddenly. We were not expecting it. And the one thing I had said days later, after you get through it and you're going through that mourning period, it's like, wow, I never got to say goodbye. She came to me in a dream a few weeks later, and she said nothing, which was a little creepy. But she said nothing, and she was getting on a bus in Brooklyn on Quentin Road and Flatbush Avenue, whatever it was. And I remember running across the street and going, what are you doing here? She wasn't saying anything, and only before she stepped on the bus, she turned around and she goes, well, you said you didn't get to say goodbye. And that was amazing. That gave me a lot of peace.
Wow.
Prophetic dream.
I think it's because when we dream, it's actually a time when we're releasing the cognitive mind, so
Right.
to speak, right? That whole left brain. Actually, we're letting that go in our sleep. I mean, unless you're like this meditative, you know, guru, when you're able to do that, or someone who's able to just disconnect from the chatter. You're able to disconnect from the chatter.
99% of the time, I do not remember any dreams, and I make it so.
Well, I think that's because a lot of times people don't remember their dreams because their mind is so busy. Their left brain is so busy. So when you go to sleep, your obviously your right brain, or not brain at all. Your higher consciousness is taking over. So by the time you wake up, it's almost like instantaneous. Your left brain takes over, and you forget everything.
So now you're saying you make it so you will yourself not to remember dreams. That's because they're prophetic. I'm going
I
to.
have to tell myself, okay, no dreams tonight.
That's
You can
scary,
dream all
huh?
you want. Left side can dream all it wants. Right side don't want to remember
Yeah, I live a whole other life in my dreams.
See, but everybody does dream. That's the whole thing. People don't realize. You do.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Every
Absolutely.
night when you go to sleep, that is your higher consciousness. That is your higher self. That is your spirit, your soul. That's your soul's time to journey to the afterlife or the Akashic records or whatever it is, and literally brings all the events of that day and records it in the Akashic record. That is your time to just like travel.
and more of a down to earth kind of thing. It's your brain just in its own relaxing zone, allowing it to process the thoughts of the day and the things that happened and stuff like that.
Right, because you do have those, those what we call like mundane logical dreams, like the ones where you lose your teeth. Anybody ever that dream where they lose all their teeth, so they're naked? It's just that lack of control. That's something that's more of on a mundane level.
So what I would do is when I'd have those dreams where I'm falling, I wouldn't fly, but I'd step into the dream and be like, okay, I'm dreaming. I know this. And I'd be able to land. And just as I land, I know I'm okay. And because it's a dream, I just jump right back up. So I do just a giant bounce and go back up again. But I know I'm dreaming, so I don't fly because flying is impossible. But I'm like doing giant bounces.
But it's not impossible.
But
bounces.
It's not
And every time I say,
impossible.
okay, I'm about to hit the ground, I'm going to be okay. And because I'm in a dream, I jump right back up a mile high.
We
and
actually-
I go through the whole experience.
Remembering your dream.
So-
And then, this is why I shut them down.
Can anybody?
Because it's just ridiculous.
Can anybody lucid dream here?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's another
So
reason.
what is that like?
I've had the same.
How much can you control them?
I've had dreams that lasted about a decade. So that basically every
5 decades later.
She said 5 dreams.
every few weeks or a week or 2 or 3, I would have the same dream where I would set up the same ground rules and just go across the same, I guess you would call it a fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I had that for over a decade. And every time it was the same scenario, same type of settings, and the same type of events were taking place in that dream that I had for over a period of a decade. And I would wake up, go do my business in middle of the night, get back to bed, and continue to dream.
Go right back in. Wow.
Right back into
Was
it.
it
I'm
10
jealous.
years in conscious time or 10 years in dreamland?
No, 10 years of my life.
this Inception?
I spent
No, I'm
having the same
trying to say
dream
that
every couple weeks.
maybe in
sometimes
his dreams it
couple
lasted 10
months.
years.
It's
That's
a
what-
dream within a dream, within another dream.
So
Within
yeah.
simulation.
It was a place when I went to bed. Okay, I had a rough childhood. So it was a place that, and I wasn't just a young child at this point. I was getting into the 8, 9, 10 years old, and then that lasted till about 18 years old with the dream, where it would be a place that I enjoyed. It wasn't a peaceful dream because there was to some extent violence going on. It was a zombie dream.
It was
No,
Narnia.
I had a zombie dream the other night.
It was something that
Nope.
I enjoyed the dream because I was always in the woods. There would always be like abandoned buildings and stuff like that, and there would always be zombies. And it was the same dream for over a decade that I kept, maybe it's in my brain that I enjoyed doing it as a child, dreaming that. And it lasted for over 10 years.
But that explains your infatuation with abandoned buildings.
Yes, it does.
Or it's your soul's way of saying, okay, this is what you have to recognize, that you feel like you need to fight for your survival.
Guess so, yeah.
Or he's going to lead us through the zombie apocalypse.
I believe that it is your subconscious telling you that you want to have sex with zombies.
Well, that's a whole
Freud.
necrophilia of another story.
There's a story with that?
Oh my
I don't want to know, Joe.
No story.
Story. Do we need to bleep that?
Sex with zombies?
But I think dreams are messages, and I think at the same time, it's an opportunity to leave and explore what your soul knows and what your soul, what your conscious mind is blocking out. That your soul's saying, no, this is what's going on. This is, I always used to wonder, when you hear about all these near-death experiences and they describe how it's almost like a dream, like they've dreamt of, or a lucid dream, how they describe it. So it's like,
You said like as if you died in your dream? Is that what you're talking about?
well, I mean, don't they call sleep like mini death every day? Right? You're leaving your mind is your thinking mind is not operating then. So, isn't that the goal, like of meditation, everything too? And all these yogis that do it, they are able to lucid dream. They're able to control, and there's dream yoga. If you think about it, they have lucid dreams. They control what goes on in that other world, that other realm, and it's where their soul, a spirit, is residing. So. Is that where you go when you dream? Is that what's happening? And if that's it, then you control that. You control what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I believe that. I may not agree with the total assessment of what you just said, but I do believe that you control it, definitely. And one of the reasons that I don't remember my dreams is because I've had some bad dreams about real people and stuff like that, and they hit a little too close to home, and none of the dreams ever took place in real life, but it's something that I don't want to even be bothered about dreaming. And a long time ago it happened like in 2005 or 6, where I just said, that's it, I don't want to remember my dreams, period. And every once in a while I let my guard down, and just a couple months ago I had a similar dream, different person, same situation. And I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to remember my dreams.
But isn't that like the soul's purpose? Isn't that
to help you heal?
Right. It's for growth. And even if it's something that you don't want to face or deal with, or like we all have experiences that we don't want to face, and maybe comes out in our dreams, we don't want to have that dream again. But isn't that the purpose of that growth? And if you keep shutting it down, then how would you grow spiritually or learn from it
or heal?
Well, I'm looking at it as more of not a spiritual process. It's more of a brain function process. Now, it's two different things. That's how I look at it, where it has nothing to do with spirituality.
But if you're looking at it connected to the paranormal, it would definitely be on a spiritual level.
Well,
that your soul's trying to do something.
The subject of my dreams specifically had nothing to do with any paranormal or anything like that.
So you think your dreams that were happening because of just what was on your mind?
I don't know. You want me to tell you? I mean, when my son was 2 years old, no, probably later. My son was like 5 or 6. I had a dream somebody kidnapped him. Okay, it's the worst nightmare of any parent. Mm-hmm. And, because my dreams are very vivid to me. My dreams are something I can control. My dreams are something that I can make continuously happen. To me, it took me 3 to 4 weeks to really get out of that bad mood of that dream. And flash forward another 15 years later, and I just had that dream about my daughter, that she was missing. It's not a dream you like to have. It's not, so I just shut them down. I don't want to be bothered with them.
But I think a lot of it, if you try to, I think you instead of shutting down the dream or, like doing this or this, I think a lot of it is when you look at the dream and you look at the meaning behind it, like the fear that's behind it, and accept it and say, okay, this is why I'm having this. I have to face this, or I have to realize this. I think because I've had dreams about my son being kidnapped or going missing as well. Like, I think every parent, most parents have that. Have you had that?
No, there's nothing
No, I just have bizarre dreams. Like my daughter's been in my dream for the last 3 months, almost every night. And there's some kind of chaos or something terrible happening, and so every day I get up and I'm like, hey, you okay? She's like, oh, okay, I'm okay. But it's walking in the spiritual world. I look for the symbols that are around it. So it could be my worry, and that to me would be aligned with that fear of not your child going missing,
like losing that connection or losing
or that worry
the
that something's
person.
you don't
Not
have
even
that-
just being kidnapped or going missing, but losing them in general, losing them as a relationship or whatever. So,
Well, when I had the dream about my son, he was 5 or 6. There was not a problem going on. There was no need for the dream. There was nothing in my life that was happening to ever suggest that, subconsciously or not.
not maybe with your son, but it may be something that.
It was just a bad. It was just a bad dream. That's all it was.
Something that connected with something that was deep in you. Maybe a connection you had with your parents, a disconnect with your parents that you fear that would have happened with your children. So I feel like dreams are always that deep message that's coming from the root chakra, and to show your soul is trying to get through to you and say, hey, this is work we have to do in order for you to grow spiritually in this mundane world.
Now, I agree with you. I agree 100%. But sometimes a dream is just a dream.
No, sometimes you have too much cheese before you go to bed.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then you're like, what the heck did I dream? I was
Yes.
going to point to a food. Thank you for beating me to it.
Food dreams.
Tortellini
I'm
dream?
literally thinking of Chris's dream.
Hold on.
Brian, have you had any crazy dreams?
Well, me personally, yes, but I asked about one of my friend's father's dreams yesterday, which was particularly very strange. That
Okay.
he told me about years ago.
So let me ask you a question. Why are you asking your friend about his father's dream?
Because this one was particularly.
Your friend was telling you about his father's dreams?
Yes.
Is that what
Yes.
happened? Okay.
You wanna hear what
That doesn't
happens?
sound as weird as you asking your friend, so what's your father dreaming about lately?
So let's hear it.
Okay. So he was living with one of his friends. His friend's wife recently died at the time. And so they're both in their separate rooms, go to sleep. And, he starts having this dream. He sees the wife who's deceased in their apartment or whatever. And, whatever happens. Then he wakes up the next morning and his friend says, I saw her in my dream.
Oh, wow.
They wound up having the same exact dream from two different points of view at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So, what is
had
that?
that same
What is that?
had that same
Is
experience.
there a name for something like that?
I don't know if there's a name, but it's
I-
a connection.
And I also think we actually went somewhere.
You just meet up in the dream,
You just
in the dream world.
We had a dream, oddly enough, because we always talk about how all of us kind of clicked. So years ago, we had a dream. We were working with another friend of ours, and we all in the same night, this friend, Tina and I, our other friend Dorinda, my brother, we were all in the same dream, different areas of the dream, but we all recognized different portions. And the oddest thing is my brother was in the second story of a house having a conversation with Chris.
With
Because
Chris
he
that you didn't even know.
described- Right, and we're talking, this
This
had to
is
be
years ago.
7 years ago.
Wow.
7 years ago.
Crazy.
That's
What were
How
you doing
we-
there, Chris?
Well,
And he was advising him, obviously.
well,
From your point of
I
view.
mean, we've had discussions about that dream, and I have had the exact same dream and did not know that it was her brother.
Wow.
And there was
crazy.
a creature in the dream
Yep.
that was, I guess, blocking out. We were walking down a path and looking back at us, and Chris actually had a sketch of that creature.
Wait,
Oh,
which one was
right.
This is
that?
the apocalypse dream?
Yes,
Did we
yes.
talk about that particular drawing?
I don't know if we talked about that
I
drawing.
don't know. I don't remember now.
We
But
might
when you
have
have a
talked
dream
about
like
it.
that, that's just showing you connections or knowing there's a greater purpose, or people are gonna. You at the time you're like, I remember us all going, okay, wait, what does this mean? And you just know, you have to know that somewhere along the line it's gonna make sense.
Yeah. And it did.
It did.
This is when you drew the house and they looked at the house and they knew
Yes.
the house.
Your grandma's
Yes.
We
house,
were in the
right?
same. We were
I
in the
remember
same
this
house,
conversation.
Right? Yeah, we were in the same house, and then you have, like I said, dreams where you have too much cheese. And,
We're totally
Yeah. Too much tortellini.
I mean, I had a dream for years. I want to say probably about 10 years, where there was somebody in the dream, and it was just all I could see is a black shadow, and he was choking me in every dream. And it got to the point where my daughter recorded me because the noise coming out of she said to me, "You're creepy as hell." And it kept going on. And the very last time that I had it was just a few years ago. Yeah, I was going to say it, and then I was like, nah. And then he came out of my dream. And when I woke up, because it was the first time I said to him in the dream, no. And I fought back, but when I woke up, he was standing in the doorway, and he turned, and he went towards my daughter's room. That's the daughter that I've been dreaming about recently. And then, then we just cleansed the house. Like we
What
did an
exactly was it?
old-fashioned-
Human?
No,
Something
I don't
other?
believe it was human. Yeah, I don't believe it was human.
So other beings could physically enter your dream.
Yeah.
Anything
And-
would really
Anything.
enter.
It's
dream.
another portal.
Well,
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
ever
In essence,
forget,
like-
your dream is not something that's just in your own bubble. You're going to the great abyss. So when you're there,
You're vulnerable.
it's anything there.
It's the same as
know?
being in a trance for meditation. It's all that
Right.
metaphysical.
So, and it's a matter of knowing how to, like with the yogis have dream yoga, and they practice that meditation, deep meditation, to get into that state so that when they do dream, they're in complete control of it. And they,
Unless it's cheese.
Cheese.
or
But
no,
you can- tortellini.
You can still get some
Tortellini
work
world.
done on a cheese dream.
All right. Now,
Oh,
in with that, there's explanation in ancient civilizations as well. If you look back, good dreams, prophetic dreams, all these pleasant dreams that we have were considered by most ancient cultures to be from the gods.
yeah.
And then your nightmares or your night terrors are considered to be from demons.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, look at how many times we would often get messages in our dreams, and
Yeah.
we would wake up and we call them downloads.
Yeah.
Whether it's from
Yeah. We have a lot of
right?
those books
Yeah,
of those.
Felt that
and you
before.
Yeah.
talk about ancient cultures. What about that mathematician that was in India, and he had no I can't remember his name now. We'll look him up. But he had absolutely no training in mathematics. But he used to go to this temple and he prayed to this goddess, and he would say that she would bleed. She'd pour out mathematics, and he was a genius with mathematics. Never, but these were all downloads that he would get.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happens too.
Well, look, wasn't Edward
Edward
Casey
Casey.
used to go to sleep
The
and
sleeping
put
prophet.
the book on his head, and he would know by the time exactly what was in the book.
Or he would be able to
Yeah.
give
That's
medical
Yeah,
advice,
medical advice
based on he
what
would
they
go to
told him in the
sleep.
dream.
Yeah. So they would
Very
come
From
cool.
thousands of miles away, no less.
from.
Yes.
Diagnose people
Yes,
from
he could diagnose
across the
people.
country.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
predicted. I mean, he talked about Atlantis, talked about ancient
Yeah.
cultures.
Oh, he was big on Atlantis.
And I
too.
got to tell you, a
Yeah.
lot of his remedies, a lot of people don't know, but he would talk about all these different remedies and things that sounded off the wall in the 40s, 30s, 40s,
Yeah.
when his era. But people did it and they were cured. But everybody was like, "Oh, come on, like really, like." But they talk about it now. It's well known.
Yeah.
And not just it's confirmed that these are the things that heal. Like, and there's so many more things that he talks about that heal, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. But again, you can call them downloads, right?
There's a lot of references to the Matrix movies right now. There's been at least 3 or 4 already.
Speaking of Matrix movies, too, any face you ever see in a dream is somebody you actually
Yep.
have to know already.
In a crowd.
Right.
You have to see that face already before you can dream that face.
What are you saying? You can't make up a face?
You can't.
You cannot make up a
can't
face in
do
your
it.
brain.
What if it's a
an
past
alien?
life?
Yeah, right. Like
It's
What
still
if
a
it's a past
face.
life? It's still a face,
You've
but it's a
seen-
past
but
life.
you've
Then
seen it.
you're not
You've seen it,
dreaming it. Yeah, that's just
You-
the
You're
alien
remembering
being
it.
there, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a little weird.
so if you don't know the person, that's why they appear like they have no face.
I
Like,
feel
right.
like my
Right.
brain is
That's why you can't remember who it is?
construct a face that I haven't seen before in a dream, and it comes out to be like a blurry.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just a
thing.
smiley
But-
face.
I never knew that.
But if it's a face that you know for a fact you've never seen, right? Past life or alien, for example.
Just reminded me of something.
Think about it. Then that's not this conscious mind. That's not this life.
Well,
Then
supposedly you can't do that.
It carries over.
it
They said that
carries
you
over.
can't generate
That
it.
means
Right,
that
right.
Yeah.
this is not all that you
I mean,
are.
something else came in.
Right, there's some other database that you're drawing
Yeah,
faces
absolutely.
from.
I have plenty of dreams.
And
like
there's
that.
more to you than just this.
Download. What were you gonna say? You said
I was
you
just
found
gonna
you
say
something.
I forget the name of the website. I think it was like whoisthisman.com or something, but it was basically a bunch of aggregated stories about people who had dreamt of this specific person, and they all described the same face, and that they had never met this guy before in their lives, and that they appeared to him in a dream. I don't know the rest of the story really, but
We're gonna have to
I
look this
remember
up.
seeing that
Oh
at
yeah,
some
we
point.
have to look that
Can't
up.
wait.
I'll look into it. Yeah.
On this segment of Dark Odyssey Academia, we're going to talk about the most common dreams. Now, does anybody know what the most common dreams are?
Like in terms of theme or like specific?
In terms of
Things.
theme.
Falling.
Definitely, that's
Yeah.
got to be up there.
Falling.
Flying.
Falling or
Charlotte.
flying.
One of them mentioned
Falling
naked before.
Naked.
Naked.
Or
Teeth
no
falling
teeth,
out,
yeah,
I feel like it's
falling
gotta be
out.
up there as well.
I read about being
that's interesting.
barefoot, something like that.
Naked.
Naked. Naked. Do you know
Barefoot
what
part of that.
Bigfoot.
He just
But
wants
do
to
you
be
know
naked.
what the most common dream is?
The most common dream.
Hit us.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Clowns.
Oh,
Wow.
No way.
I have never dreamt of a clown.
I don't
Yeah.
dream about clowns
No,
either,
no.
but apparently the most
It's a
common
big phobia.
dream
It is.
Yes.
is the dream of clowns.
Well, maybe
I
that's
think
why
it's-
it's
Wow.
It's those people up in New Hampshire with the guy with the red
How about
balloon.
spiders?
99?
Spiders wasn't even like in the top 10 of what I was looking at.
Wow.
Yeah.
Snakes?
Snakes was in there. Snakes was
Yeah, I
like
dream of snakes a
7.
lot.
So
Who
the top
mentioned they saw a snake? You did, right? When you did your journey.
That was a journey. That wasn't a dream.
same
How are they
difference.
different?
It's the same place.
You were on
It's the
your
same,
way.
exactly.
It was a
It's the
trance.
same
That's
place.
that lucid
Right.
moment.
So the top was clowns. The next was falling or flying. You could fall.
the same?
And it's
Falling with
technically
style.
considered the same. You're falling with style, exactly.
Well, if I'm flying, I ain't falling. I'm going. You know?
You never know. So,
Oh,
have you ever
flies.
had a falling dream?
I don't think so. I don't. not that I recall.
Falling dreams in on themselves are quite interesting. You wind up in almost that twilight state where you're awake and asleep at the same time. You know what's going on around you, but
Brace
somehow,
yourself and
but
jump.
you jump.
Worst feeling, dude.
You have no idea what just happened,
Right.
but it's you're in that dream state where you're starting to go into that other world of your dream state, and you are forcibly thrown back into
Well,
it.
I used to do that and kick really hard, and I kicked my ex-wife, and then I blame it on the dream. I just hated her.
You're literally falling back into your body.
Yes.
Right,
I do that when I
Exactly.
astral travel.
right.
That's the weirdest feeling
in
when
the-
you're,
in the
you're
dream.
laying on something flat, but you feel yourself fall into it. You're like,
Right.
wait, like
Exactly.
so strange.
like I was saying on when we did the journey here, and you know that being walked up to me and said, "Oh hi," and I was suddenly back in my body.
They just said hello. They didn't push you or anything.
No, it was just hi, and I wasn't expecting someone to talk.
Wow.
It was just like, who are you and why are you talking? Next is seeing the dead.
Okay.
So number 3 is seeing the dead.
Right.
We've all been there.
Everybody's been there at some point in time. Number 4 is being naked. Now, it could really be naked at any point in time.
Themselves being naked? Or
Yourself
others?
being naked,
Sitting in
other
class.
people being naked, and then the interpretation of it in general. You know, if you're naked in it, it's you're insecure. You're insecure about yourself, but other people are seeing you naked. It's
Right, you're afraid of like
you're
bearing
afraid
yourself.
of bearing yourself to other people. So it could be that you're insecure, you're emotionally unstable, you just
Don't ever get in my
There's
dreams.
always a second person naked in my naked dream, but hey, whatever.
Next is being chased.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've definitely
Yeah.
seen that. Yes.
That was a reoccurring
What,
dream
you
I
see
used
me
to
being
have.
chased in my dreams?
that's
Like, what was that?
No. I've
What used to
seen
chase
something
you?
chasing me.
When I was a kid.
I don't remember what they were, but yes, I've had that feeling of being chased by something.
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 It could have just been metaphorical, like life chasing me. Like I never feel like I
Right,
get
right.
anything accomplished. I start 100 projects and never finish any. So it's always like
Hurry up.
that's coming after me. Like
It's like that. It's like that. Hurry up and wait.
oh, we do that all the day.
We do that every day.
What was chasing
That's a
you?
different life.
I just remember it as like a cartoon monster. I don't really have any other
That's
way
the
to
worst.
describe
Cartoons and dreams are creepy. I'm
But
sorry.
it was
They just
a
are.
cartoon monster that would chase me
Not a clown.
across a 2D plane. So it was just me running away from this thing, and it would slowly catch up and then eat me whole. And in that monster's stomach was the same monster
Oh
that
no.
would then chase me again, and that would be the entire night.
You play a lot of video games.
So
don't you?
now-
Sounds like Mario.
So now, what color was this monster?
Green.
It was green.
Yes.
You see, my monster.
I know what it was. Trogdor!
That was long before Trogdor, I think. But nice, good reference.
Oh my
Good
god.
So in my dream, anytime that I've been chased, similar, it was a red monster, but it was like the Looney Tunes monster, and I
Bugs Bunny.
I
The
big
cannot
red
for the
thing.
life of me
remember his name right now.
I know what
It
you're
was like
talking
a normal
about.
person's name.
It was
like,
what?
it was like Archibald. Archibald.
I don't think it was
I don't
Archibald.
think it was Archibald.
Fox.
Taz?
Look it up.
Tasmanian Devil?
No.
he was
Similar.
little.
Big
The big
hairy
Paul
one.
Harry.
Bugs Bunny.
The one who did the nails. The nails, remember?
Yo.
Look it up. He's got his phone.
on
I'm gonna hug him and squeeze him and love him.
Oh yes, I remember
Right?
it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was his name?
We'll get a name.
He's gonna get it and be like, oh.
I remember what he looked like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Archibald, I'm gonna.
Gossamer.
Yes.
That's it.
Gossamer.
Yeah, this big red.
There you go. Yep.
That's funny.
I
Yeah.
have to. I'll put him right behind you.
That was close, Archibald. Gossamer.
Not a bad
You
guess.
know.
Balthazar.
All right. So
That's what the S box
it all
said.
goes back to the beginning.
Got smart.
All right. So those are some of the most common dreams that are out there.
That is awesome, though.
What are your most common dreams?
Good question.
I try not to dream. I try not to.
Don't you
Cole?
say the same thing? Try blocking them out.
I don't actively try not to dream, but I don't remember my dreams most of the time. The ones that I do remember, it's usually some kind of anxiety dream or depression dream. It's not good. Whatever.
Your soul is trying to.
Fox.
I have really, really random dreams, probably that mean absolutely nothing. It's like just my brain in a blender. But a lot of the time, there's random people from the past that just show up, and I'm like, what are you doing here?
Uncle Mort.
I get a lot of that too. Random people from the past you haven't spoke to or
What
thought
are you
about
doing?
just pop in there.
And you're just reminded of them for
Right.
seemingly no reason.
And then what the weird thing is, then you either see something from Facebook,
Yep.
or they
Or
they
they
call
message
you.
you, yeah.
Yes, and then all of a sudden you have a
Something like
real
that.
interaction with
Yeah.
them, and
That
it's like, wait,
happens
they
all
just
the time.
I was just thinking about them.
And
When
it could
was
be
that?
years, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Lately, I have recurring dreams for the last couple of months of being in these tunnels and fighting evil, and people are not what they seem. So that on many levels could be, but it's that. Do you ever see like what's that? The Stepford Wives, where everybody looks really nice, but you're looking at them and you're going, there's something wrong. Months of, and we're always in these dark tunnels.
No idea of the reference. I don't watch chick flicks.
Stepford Wives is a horror movie.
I think I dreamt of a lot of my dreams are like in a different, like we're in this different hiding in this society. Like the world is like gone to hell in a handbasket and we're in our own like.
No, that's the actual world. right now.
realistic.
No,
Yeah,
it's like
no dream.
Even worse.
like
No dream.
yeah, like Red Dawn.
Oh.
But that's
V.
But my dreams all look like that. It's destructive everywhere.
And there's
It's-
aliens
they live.
involved.
There's
always
it's
aliens
destructive.
You guys are gonna save us all.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, just another day of work.
Awesome.
For me, it's always
Another
books.
demon slaying.
Books.
Always books.
What kind of books?
Wait, what do the books do to you?
Are they like Harry Potter
do to
books
me?
where they're like?
I'm picturing like books flying at them and smashing them in the face.
No, I
Pac-Man books.
I have it in the dream that we've all had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the loft in my old house and I'm reading the books on the bookshelves, and most of them, it's like I've written them because I open, I go, oh, I remember this one.
So this is how you
Or-
retain knowledge.
Or in certain cases, I saw some books on the Facebook Marketplace today, and I said, I really need those books. I didn't buy them because they were $180, but it was the entire collection of Shakespeare, written Shakespeare from 1878. And in honesty, if I had the money to buy it, I would have bought those books.
Well, and it's funny because in the dream where my brother was speaking to you and where we were, there were books everywhere on shelves and we were paying attention to one very large book. But you and Petey,
Right, that was on a pedestal.
It was on a pedestal with a rose quartz heart.
Yep.
Not sphere, wasn't a heart. But you and Petey were also discussing books up there. So it was it's cool that that's something that's a theme of your dream, and it just kind of carried through. But
Sure.
Do you read before bed?
I read a lot.
He said this already.
I mean,
I read a lot.
All the
There are-
time.
yeah.
There are times where I just can't sleep at all. And then when I can't sleep, I just sit there and read.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. I just had an epiphany. Maybe you are sleeping, and those 2 hours you think you're reading, you're actually dreaming.
That's a good possibility.
be, yeah.
But
So he's doing
I mean,
a Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, these
I
are,
mean, I just saw it.
that's like, wow, that's woo.
I mean, you obviously do
I
get sleep.
have-
You would be able to function.
Right. Well,
Nowadays.
nowadays. Not back before all the craziness.
No, but why I say that is because I know what you're like when you don't sleep. So,
That's a possibility.
yeah, like maybe he thinks he's reading all this time. But you
Well,
would.
it is interesting. Well, here's the thing.
I wish it felt like that.
No, Joe's got a point because I have the next day when I'm going to lay down and I go pick up my Kindle or my Nook or my iPad because I have all three and all three have different books on
Are
them.
they all sponsoring us now?
Bleep, bleep, and bleep.
My e-readers. Where I left off is not the page that it's on.
exactly.
It's either most of the time it's I'm looking at this and I'm like,
Right.
I read all
I
this.
read way past that. Yeah.
So you didn't
But
read
the
it consciously.
but the more interesting thing is the fact that what I'm reading lately are books that I have not read before. So they're new books. So when I'm scrolling through and I'm like, but I read all this already. Maybe I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what if, in your dreams, you really become like a ghost? You become a spirit, and maybe you're the spirit in another dimension.
I'm the ghost with the most, baby.
And there's that paranormal connection we were talking about earlier.
Getting into dimensions.
Don't say it. Say it once. Say it twice is nice. Say it 3 times.
Beetlejuice.
Joe Rice, Joe Rice, Joe Rice.
Supreme Commander.
That's when you need a shot of that cake in there.
Just sing happy birthday on the show to you.
We should.
Well, today is the single greatest day ever in the universe. It's the day I was born.
But nobody clapped.
We already sang for
wait,
it.
are you ready?
Gotta do it again.
Thank you.
Good show.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Pip and cheerio.
Duke Wellington says no one gives a
Yeah.
Wow, what was the last time the Duke Wellington came out?
about 5 years ago. It's not mine to bring out. You know that.
I know.
New segment.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God. What? Fox, go get the Marilyn Monroe costume.
Nah. Cool.
Happy birthday,
Nah.
Supreme Commander.
Do I call this stripper?
He walks in and he's just like, this is a strange place.
The doctor is in.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Oh.
Dr. Homer.
Oh, God.
Oh! They're playing bad telephone. Pass it on.
Oh, my God.
And that
That is
was
all getting cut.
academia. And that was academia.
Yep.
The more you know.
And on this segment of Dark Odyssey, I wanted to talk about, since we're speaking of dreams, I wanted to talk about a woman. Her name was Reyna Marroquin. She was born in 1941, and in 1969, she seemingly disappeared off the face of the earth. And for years, they tried to find out where she was, and nobody could locate her. Her mother was being interviewed by a local journalist, and she kept having dreams of her daughter stuck in a barrel somewhere. And turns out, in 1999, 30 years later, they find Reina Marroquin in a 55-gallon drum. She was murdered. She was having an affair with her boss. She became pregnant, and the guy murdered her, stuck her in a barrel, and left her in a crawl space in his attic for
God,
30,
that's
for over,
horrible.
actually 40 years, because he killed her. By the time they found her, the new people who bought the house finally decided to clear out the crawl space, and they're like, let's get rid of this 55-gallon drum. Wow. And they couldn't even really move it. So they opened it up and they found her in
How do
there.
you fit a 55-gallon drum in a crawl space?
I remember seeing the news story of this
Yeah.
in '99.
And her mother was having dreams of her stuck in a barrel.
Wow.
And it
Is
turns
this
out
local to
they
No,
found,
I don't think so.
when they found her, they inspected the drum she was in, which had been manufactured by the company she had worked for. She was having an affair with her boss.
Morbid.
They went to him for a DNA test. They went back to check the DNA because she was pregnant of the fetus that was in her dead carcass. And it matched. And when they went to arrest him, they found him with a gunshot wound to the head in the backseat of his car.
Can I just say, whoa, yes, absolutely.
Heavy
Oh my
stuff.
God. Yeah, like,
But
whoa.
what kind of investigation did the police do back then? I mean, come
I know.
on.
There's a barrel in the crawl
There's a
space.
barrel, like the guy makes barrels. She went missing,
a
and
plastic
she
factory.
worked
Well,
for
they
him.
were a plastic flower factory. They would make plastic flowers. The drum was from the color that they used. So it was filled with this powdered for the color base. And they would use the stuff from the barrel, make the color for the flowers.
Well, did they even know that there
Did they
was an
even
affair going
question the
on?
boss?
Maybe they didn't know.
You
I
know,
think there was a
Question the
friend that knew
people.
about it. Wasn't there a friend
I
that
have
knew about
no
the
idea.
affair?
I've seen
Like,
nothing
you know,
about
ask
that.
around, you know. Like,
That's
Evidently, they didn't do too much detective work because
that's
wow.
horrible.
She was
he
right
sold
there.
the house in 1972. So she was in his attic for another 3 years after he murdered her. And the cops never checked the house or I guess the crawl space.
Did he live alone?
No, he
He
lived
had a
with his
family.
wife.
No, he was married.
And him and his wife sold the house, moved to Boca Raton, and the new
wife
people
never
bought the house
smelled anything?
and left it in there for the next 30-something years.
Was she in the
Airtight
coloring?
barrel.
Was it
No,
full
no,
of-
he
She
just
was
filled it with
in the
plastic
barrel.
pellets
Yeah, but-
and her body.
But the smell.
Airtight barrel.
Airtight,
Yeah.
It
yeah.
was one of those
Yeah.
that's sealed completely.
And when they opened it, the story says that it was a lot of liquid in there and the stench was just
God,
unbelievable.
that's
Well, they said
horrible.
the decomp would be a lot less. It would take a lot longer if it was
But that's
airtight.
She was
30 years
putrefying,
or something.
trust me.
Like,
Right.
It was
Yeah.
like a
But
mummy.
that is
almost.
true too.
It depends on the environment in there, and that definitely wasn't a good
It
environment.
would also
She was
depend
putrefying.
on how she was in the barrel.
But yeah,
Well, look at
sad
the
story.
fact
Crawl
that her
space was in
mother
the
was
attic?
having the dream.
No, I was downstairs.
Oh, down in the basement. Crawl spaces
Yeah,
are a lot of
Like
times.
downstairs. In
Now
the
I'm gonna
basement.
figure that
I
her
said
mother
attic.
wasn't.
You
Was
did
her
say
mother?
attic. You
Yeah.
said you said crawl space.
said
too.
crawl
Crawl
space.
space.
Oh,
Some
that's
attics
what
are
it says.
a crawl
Well,
space means
it
you can't
was-
stand up in it.
Yeah.
They
That's
said
all
the
it is.
barrel was like 300 plus pounds. He
Right.
left it downstairs. There's no way he could get it.
Oh,
That's what I was.
know.
That's
Well, if you put the
valid,
barrel
yeah.
up there
Well,
first,
right, if you
then
put the
drag the
barrel-
body up there,
Also
you could.
valid.
I'm gonna figure that her mother was gone by this time, right? When
No,
they
her
found
mother lived to 105 years old.
So her mother
Her mother
got,
died a year, less than a year after they found her.
but she did get to learn of that they
Yes,
found her
and she
daughter.
died
Years
afterwards. Yeah,
Wow,
That
and the
dream-
fact
After they
that her
found her.
dreams were correct. Can you imagine
How
that?
frustrating.
she died at 105 years old. The mother.
Wow. It was almost like she was waiting. She was
She
waiting.
couldn't go until she
She
found
had
out.
to
Waiting,
learn,
and I
yeah.
hope she had an opportunity to bitch slap the detectives that were usually
Yeah,
started.
for real.
Wow.
And then and they buried her with her mother in San Salvador, I believe it was.
Wow, that's-
Sad story.
that is.
Oh, Bryce, you really know how to change the feeling of a room.
And that's why it's the oddity.
Right.
Right till next episode.
The oddest things in the world come out
Yeah.
of Joe's mouth.
Don't.
What goes in?
Must come out.
Well, we know this Joe is Tortellini.
Tortellini.
You want some?
So, but that just proves that you travel and you connect, and you
well,
dream.
Like you said, you somehow
You're
receive
open.
information
Exactly.
from somewhere
so
else that you
can't
don't
shut
have
it
access
down
You can't
because
dispute that.
important information can come through.
How did she know that accurately?
Exactly.
That means, yeah.
No,
I-
it wasn't like
Somebody
symbolic,
was-
like she was trapped in
Well,
a room.
Somebody
I
was
mean-
communicating
Right,
with her, whether it was her
cylindrical
daughter
room
or
barrel.
Exactly.
otherworldly
Yeah,
beings,
right.
but somebody was letting her know,
Right. In the realm where it's easier to get the message.
Yeah.
When we're not so busy with the monkey mind.
Well, it had to be her spirit, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
Hey, Mom, I was killed. I'm in a barrel.
I would think so.
Well,
That
and not being
that's
part of the
scripted.
actual story or being there, you don't know if this woman. Look, I tried to tie you in with the dream sequence to the show about dreams, but we don't know the full story that maybe the mother actually did see her daughter's spirit and said it's a dream just because she was afraid to tell people I'm seeing my dead daughter
Right,
standing in the corner telling me
Saw
she's
the
in the
ghost.
barrel.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
yeah.
it is.
So you never know.
Right,
You know,
you don't know.
You never know.
At that time, it's
True.
taking a Bellevue.
Yeah.
Right. It was a
Exactly.
long time ago at this
Exactly.
point.
I mean, even
It's
today they
possible.
want to take you to Bellevue for that, but
Burn them. We got some lovely brews for you.
Just walk your way out.
all right. So that'll wrap up today's episode of The Journey. Stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.
It's
show
gonna
your
be
support.
awesome.
And that's that.
You have an idea for
Yeah,
it?
it's not a lot to it.
That's fine. That'll cap the show. That's great.
Yeah,
That'll tie it all together.
I guess.
I don't think it's going to tie it all
I don't-
together. I mean,
yeah,
unless
it's
you want to
not
get the
gonna tie it all
unless you want to
together.
get the ropes and start tying them up.
I gotta
Birthday
get coffee
punches.
after this though, because unless you guys are gonna make coffee. On this segment of, you want to clap? Clap.
We don't have to clap.
He got the clap.
That guy. Happy birthday.
Hey, somebody told us and it's your birthday. Hey. We go through all the chain restaurant birthday songs.
Someone say, hey, it's your birthday.
I like the Outback version.
Do the Harry Rang one.
Do it.
Have a tequila. Have a tequila.
Bonsai. Da, 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 da.
The disco light on or whatever.
Put up his arms, take a picture.
Yeah, Polaroid. Oh my gosh.
What is he doing over there?
Bonsai.
Oh my god.
Take wine.
Take wine.
Bonsai bubble.
We're never recovering. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Joe Rice. Happy birthday to you.
Supreme Commander.
All right. Check it out. That's fucking awesome. Thank you guys.
Holding the candle.
To the wrong spot.
I was gonna put it in your mouth.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow.
Supreme.
Commander.
Must make the first cut
Okay.
in your face.
Don't go there. That is awesome. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Love yous all.
I guess that's.
You're supposed to
taking the commander
cut your face.
Yes, I was gonna say.
I gotta cut my
appropriate
face?
Mexican.
You must cut.
There we go.
Now you cannot talk anymore. You are mute forever.
You cannot speak.
Forever. Now, Joe Rice the cake can't complain anymore.
Which one of you got Joe's crotch?
That's yours.
What's wrong?